It has been nearly a year since I dropped my Sonic Adventure 1 Platinum Trophy video, and on that video, I said I'd be going for every PS3 Sonic game 100% completion. And then, it never happened. But I decided to change that for today's video, where I'll be getting every PS3 trophy for Sonic Adventure 2. And I just gotta say before we start, this game is the very first game that I have ever played back on the GameCube. So this was probably the most enjoyable video I have ever made, because despite claiming I'd do it back then, I have been dying to make this video, but for whatever reason, I never got around to doing it. Anyways, I'm also bringing back 100% completing every PS3 Sonic game again, so after this, I'll be doing even more Sonic games right away, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Sonic content. Alright, so due to me already playing this game a lot back in the day, and I mean like 300 plus hours of my life was poured into this game, that means I already have most of the trophies required for this game's full trophy completion. There's a total of 15 trophies to get, but jumping right in, I already had 12 of 15 trophies for this game. What I still had to do was get every emblem in the entire game, getting every A rank in every story level, and beat the Chao Karate Championship. And despite my time poured into this game, I only had around 10 A ranks in the entire game, and they were on like the easiest levels, so these trophies were going to prove to be pretty challenging. And right from the very beginning, I decided to immediately go for every Sonic and Shadow A rank that I knew would be the easiest to get, because it's been like 8 years since I've played this game, so I was very rough around the edges even though I have countless hours in this game. Sonic and Shadow do actually have the hardest A ranks in the entire game, but that's only for certain levels, so I just made sure to avoid them until I got used to the game. Before we jump into the first level I tested out, we should go over what each level has to offer. In each story level, after you beat the game, which I already have of course, we can replay the level again to get a better rank, but we also gain 4 more additional challenges to the level. The first is to collect 100 rings in the level as quickly as possible, the second is to find a hidden Chao somewhere in the level, third is to beat the level in a said time limit, and the final part is to beat the level on hard mode. To get every emblem, we would of course have to beat each of these challenges, but also getting every single A rank in all of them with each character grants a new additional emblem, along with beating every character level in general to grant me one. Also, of course, we will have the Chao emblems to do, but we'll get into that later. Also, I'm gonna mention this now, for all my videos I always have like live clips of me getting a trophy in certain parts of the game that was hard or something along those lines, but this game had no setting for audio changes, which means the entire time you won't actually be able to hear me in each clip because you can't change that for this game, so sadly, we're just gonna talk about each level. Though some parts I will show because I actually would just pause the game and talk, but that's the only parts I'll show. The very first level I did was of course City Escape, the greatest Sonic level ever made. Now I actually already had 3 of the 5 A ranks needed here, so the only ones I had left was getting the A rank on the basic first mission on story mode and the hard mode version of this level. Now honestly, this level, and to be honest most level in this game, were actually pretty easy. I struggled quite a bit with this one at first because it's been so long since I played the game that I barely knew how combos and point streaks worked, so getting an A rank would take me a while here. Even then, this didn't take any longer than like 20 minutes to finish since it is the easiest Sonic level, but I seriously need to get used to this game because struggling this badly on the easiest part is a very bad sign. Now because of this, I decided I should start working on my Chao, so that as I collected pets to upgrade them, I would get more used to this game to make it much easier and quicker to go through. And going into the Chao garden, I already had plenty of Chao to work with due to my past time played on this account, including an already very high leveled dark/powered Chao who was level 60 and 70 in every section, so I pretty much already had a beefed up Chao to work with right from the beginning, and the fact that he was a power Chao was going to make beating the Karate Championships far easier. But there is one issue with this, well, rather two. Due to being a power type, he was painfully slow during the races, even at max level, so he wasn't the best contestant for the racing competitions, which we would have to do for emblems, and not only that, he was a dark type, meaning there was one emblem we couldn't get with him, which was the hero races, which obviously only neutral and hero Chaos can contend in. But even then, he was perfect for the Karate Trophy, and due to already being high leveled, I decided to work on him alongside another Chao later on. But of course, for those that haven't seen the Sonic Adventure 1 video, we had to bring back the greatest Chao of all time, who is the icon of this channel, Spencer. In honor of him, I named my main Chao Spencer to bring back the memory of his greatness, even though they look nothing alike. Anyways, due to him being a power type Chao, in order to beat the races with him, I pretty much had to max out all his stats. So while doing this, I decided to get a bunch of A ranks out of the way at the same time. Now, out of Sonic and Shadow, Shadow definitely has the easiest levels and A ranks to obtain, and honestly, I might even say Shadow has the easiest A ranks in the entire game, not gonna lie. Even for just barely returning to this game, I was knocking out pretty much all of his A ranks within my first couple tries. The first Shadow level I decided to tackle was Radical Highway, and like City Escape, I was fumbling pretty hard on this level, but thankfully I already had most of the A ranks here from the past. This level was pretty easy, especially for me now, but I was still trying to get used to how this game's point system worked, and honestly, I wasn't really paying attention because I was doing this while streaming, so I was just kind of playing the game, mostly in terms of getting items for my Chao as well, so there isn't much to say here, so let's move on. The next shadow stage I decided to do was Sky Rail, and this is by far the easiest shadow stage in the entire game. Not only is this level super short, but there's like a million opportunities to perform tricks on railings here, and score combos from enemies and ring boxes, and honestly, due to how short this level is and by how many combos and rings you can get here, I'm surprised Sega was super lenient with the point requirements here, as most stages pretty much require you to perfect the stage, while here you can do this blindfolded by how simple it is, and you can even get the A rank here while making tons of mistakes. After that was the jungle level, and honestly, this one was pretty easy as well without too much to say, but here's the very first level I had to actually get the A rank on for finding the hidden Chao, as on all the previous areas I had already done so, which is why I didn't bother bringing it up. But this is probably the weirdest Chao location in the entire game. In most levels, the Chao are hidden roughly around halfway through the level, which is typically when you start looking for the Chao as well, since it's pretty much a pattern with all these levels. But here the Chao was hidden in literally at the very end of the stage at the ring goal, but also in the most awkward spot. Again, to actually find him, you'd have to go to the very end of the stage, but at the end, Sega decided you'd have to just start heading away from the goalpost all the way back to this random path to find a Mystic Melody hieroglyph to take you to the Chao. This is like the one time they decided to make you stop what you're doing and go back where you came from to get a Chao. As this is a Sonic game, so most of the stuff you get you will just find randomly while running through the level, but this time you actually have to stop what you're doing. Now, for me, I want to do all the Chao without using Google, and these A ranks are based on how long you take, not on how many points you get. And I took like 10 years to find the Chao here, pretty much stopping everywhere in the level to try to find the guy. Yet I still somehow qualified for the A rank. Yeah, I don't know why, but you know what? I'll take it. That leaves us with the final shadow stage to get every A rank in, and this was honestly the hardest one, but not because of hard level design or anything, but simply due to how long the level is. This is something that honestly makes every space stage in this game annoying, but anyways, due to the length of the stage, Sega was not nice here in terms of how many combos you can miss. You pretty much had to kill off every single enemy and get every perfect combo possible here. The main reason why is having rings at the end of the level and beating it quickly gives you a lot of bonus points, but the issue is the level is super slow, and there's no way you're beating an 8-minute long level without getting hit. That's just not happening. So to avoid having to do this stage multiple times over, rather than focusing on speed, I pretty much had to rely on scoring as many combos off of enemies as I possibly could, and maybe skipping a few decent chunks of the level here to get a better time score. And here I didn't have a single A rank, and in total this took like 45 minutes to get every A rank here. And honestly, this part genuinely felt like a chore to get through. All of the space stages in this game are honestly so long and boring that, as much as I claim this is my favorite game ever, sometimes getting through the space parts of this game makes me question if I honestly think that way. Even playing this game normally is such a chore to get through all the space levels. Anyways, I was honestly half asleep playing this level, just praying I managed to get enough points for each level, and sooner than later, I managed to get it done.
Please be an A rank, bro. This level is so professional crap.
Thank you.
Ultimate victory.
After finishing up all of the shadow levels and taking care of my Chao a little bit, I was honestly knocking out most Sonic A ranks pretty quickly, and better yet, I managed to get my Chao maxed out almost completely. So I was also closing in on a new trophy as well, until my world got shattered. As easy as the Sonic levels were by now, I would then play the hardest level and honestly the entire game in terms of getting an A rank. And that level was Metal Harbor. I'm sure most people who 100% this game probably remembers this level being hard, but for me, this is honestly one of the only stages in this game that really got me stuck. Metal Harbor is honestly a pretty short and admittedly very simple stage, but the issue with this level is you have to get the max amount of points you can possibly get here. That means you have to beat the stage in under 2 minutes, you cannot go over that count at all, then you have to collect every single ring in the whole stage and not lose a single one. And finally, you have to get every perfect combo in the stage. Now honestly, this wouldn't be that bad for such a short stage, but there is one part that completely changes this, and that's the skateboarding section. Now the way this part works is something that I honestly don't know how to explain, but this footage should say enough. This section, for whatever reason, just doesn't work. Controlling your skateboard here is kinda impossible, and in a way, the game kinda plays it for you here, not gonna lie. And anytime, yes, anytime you accidentally hit a wall for whatever reason, it completely throws everything out of whack, making you lose control of Sonic completely. Now you might be wondering, what's so hard about this? You don't lose too much speed when you hit a wall, right? Well, now that I think about it, that's probably another issue with this part. While you're in this section, barely even playing the game here, you have to grab 4 different life and ring capsules. Yes, 4. And you really just have no control while playing this. The worst part is, I swear these capsules are bugged or something, man. Half the time I would very clearly hit one of the capsules, but the game just wouldn't give it to me. This entire section made this level, in my opinion, the hardest part of this entire game, but finally, with some time, I managed to get the A rank.
That's kind of easy.
Oh, can this game lock in?
Yes!
Dude, this game, TSPML gang. Waka waka, hey, waka waka.
That was cool!
Hey, that's another A rank.
Yes!
Bro, I just had a burp, bro. Leave me alone. Alright. Metal Harbor's over. The last 2 A ranks were really easy. Bad, bro. Now, I showed those 2 clips, and on this next part of my script, I was going to talk about how I still had to do the speedrun and hard mode level and how miserable it was, but I somehow realized, looking through my footage, I did both of them on my very first attempt, so looks like that part of my script is getting cut out. Anyways, then we move on to me getting a very awesome break by getting to take care of my Chao and compete in some races. Not only that, my Chao is now maxed out in every single slot, which means we get to get a trophy here. Alright, you guys, I'm sure I already explained this in the video, but yeah, for some reason there's no way to change this game's music or anything, and in my capture card that's not really an option. It's only on my own mic, so not really much I can do about the sound of this game. Most games do have something you can do, but not this one, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have this game paused so you guys can actually, hear my voice. As you can see over here, we got my power/flying Chao to 99 on everything except for stamina. Now, the reason I actually have, I really do think I already explained this in the video as well, but obviously this is a Chao that I actually made a few years back, probably like before COVID with my brother, or maybe during COVID with him. And this was just happened to be the Chao we made, and he already had pretty good stats with everything at level 50. So I got everything from level 50 to 99 while working on the A ranks. So I'm not going to be able to talk during the races, but we're going to go do all the races for the emblems, and then we're going to get ourselves... Actually, you know what? No, we're going to do the trophy right now. We're going to go ahead and go get the boxing silver trophy, because it's been a while since we popped anything in this game, so let's do it. There we go, Karate Master Yeah, no music here, but yeah, Karate Master just did that. I'm gonna go back and do all the races now. That one I'm obviously not gonna record because there's no trophy for that, and it's also extremely easy. I've done it plenty of times before on old accounts, so yeah, we're gonna do that. With that being done, we now move on to the final two stages for Sonic, both being space levels. Now, I was terrified to do this because growing up, I despised Sonic space levels. I always remembered them being extremely difficult and just flat out boring, and after the pin of Metal Harbor caused me, it wasn't looking good. But to my surprise, the space levels were like super easy. Well, kind of. First off, I started off with Crazy Gadget, and in my opinion, it's just an easier version of Shadow's level, and honestly wasn't hard at all. But then we have the other Sonic Space one. I forgot the name though. Anyways, I always remember this one being the hardest level, mostly due to the janky gravity sections and brutal enemy placements, but honestly, it was pretty easy. I managed to do pretty much every A rank first try except for the hard mode level. Hard mode is honestly usually easier than the normal level counterpart because they add tons more enemies, allowing you to get way more points. But in this case, this level got much worse because of the final gravity area. This part of the level was always just so janky and confusing to me that I genuinely despise this level with a passion. Honestly though, despite these things, this level was so much easier than Metal Harbor that I didn't get frustrated at all when getting the stage's A rank. And honestly, I can't even think of one hard thing about this stage. However, I still hate this stage, I always will. There will never be a single time where I enjoy this stage or any space stage, for that matter.
Yes! That was cool! Yes!
I'm not feeling good about this, you guys. Oh, please. Oh my gosh, that's still an A rank.
That was cool!
How is that an A rank? I'm not gonna complain at all. It is 12 in the morning. I don't know how long I've been working on this, but... And now I had the final Sonic stage to get every A rank in, and that was the desert level. I was told, and even read online, that a lot of people say that this is the hardest Sonic stage to get A ranks in, specifically because of the hard mode level. So I decided to save this level for last. Then suddenly I was playing the stages and they were all extremely easy. I heard so many bad things about this stage, I was genuinely scared to try it, but no joke, I did every stage first try and it was super easy. Mostly people say it's hard because of all the ghosts who can ruin your runs, but honestly, I never had a single moment where one of the ghosts managed to catch me and ruin a run. It was very easy, and honestly, this is one of my favorite stages in the entire game, so this was a fun one to go for.
Yes!
Alright, let's see. Yo!
That
Really?
was cool!
That was like my second attempt. First time I beat it apparently as well. Alright, well I gotta say, Crazy Gadget was really easy except for hard mode. You know, that one took a little bit of practice, but overall that one only took me out an hour to do all 5. And Pyramid Cave took literally 30 minutes to do all 5. Hard mode only took me about 3 or 4 attempts. I probably already talked to Duck about this by the time I make the video, but he said that this was the hardest A rank for Sonic, if not in the whole game. Aside from final level, of course, but every Sonic A rank done in that level was like actually super easy. Like Pyramid Cave and City Escape were the 2 easiest in the entire game. And I honestly think Metal Harbor is the hardest. I know we all have different opinions, obviously, so Duck probably just found Pyramid more difficult, but for me personally, Pyramid Cave and City Escape were definitely the easiest, and Metal Harbor was the hardest. Crazy Gadget was definitely like in the middle, but yeah, there's that. With that done, we now have officially finished the hardest part of this entire game, and we move on to a part that's honestly so easy, I'm not even sure what to talk about here. What I had next was the Tails and Eggman stages, and each stage had a very easy strategy that carried over to each level, making each stage just as easy as the last. The only thing I can really think about here is Tails for some reason is very janky to use. For those that have played this game, you've probably noticed that Tails has random moments of just stopping and losing all of his speed, and sometimes Tails just struggles to move in general at times. While when you play as Eggman, he's silky smooth to use and there's no issues with him. Due to this, Tails' first level, the highway area, was pretty annoying because Tails didn't function half the time, but everything else was super easy. One thing that is pretty important here though is the only reason they were so easy is because getting points in their stages was an absolute joke. All you really have to do is just hold your target button and wait to get like an 11 hit combo, and you'll get like 2,000 points each hit, giving you insane points for each enemy encounter throughout the levels. And of course, I can't complain about the space stages, but here they were still very simple, mostly due to Tails and Eggman having like 10-minute long levels again, but it always offers so much room to rank up points that these levels weren't really an issue at all. Moving on from that, this game gets even easier, and that's me going for every Knuckles and Rouge A rank. Also, just because Rouge is involved, it's worth mentioning the car levels with both Rouge and Tails, but somehow when I started this game, I actually already had every A rank for both car levels, so that's why I skipped past them. Anyways, Knuckles and Rouge's A ranks are much easier than you guys are probably thinking. For those that have played this game, you'd probably think that beating the timer in each of these stages is brutal, especially in the space stages and pyramid levels, but that's where you'd be wrong. Now, I will admit I did kind of cheese this, and that's because I found a speedrunning forum that tells you where each Master Emerald shard is in each level, based on what the TV hint says. So to do the speedrun levels and even the general levels, I would just go to one of the TV things, get my hint, check the hint on the forum, and go where it tells me to go, and I'd manage to beat the level within seconds. And for the hard mode levels, these were even easier because in each stage, they were all set in one guaranteed spot for the hard mode thing. So I just followed a video guide on where everything was and got my A rank first try every single time. And this was honestly going pretty smoothly until the Knuckles pyramid level, and that's because even for the speedrun community forum, the hint location slides have not been filled out. And that's mostly due to some hints having the same name, but will always be in a different locations. So due to the shard locations, there's just no way to exactly pinpoint where each gem location is, but I actually found a very good strategy here. First things first is I noticed about half the hints for locations usually told you what colored room it was in, and if it didn't at first, you can get a second hint from the TV to know what colored room the gem would be in. And the second thing I noticed is this place was one big circle that kind of has extra interior based on hidden rooms that lead you to the core engine room in the middle, etc, etc. But the main thing is, in each main room there would be a map telling you exactly how to get to a colored room with colored arrows. So what I did is I'd usually get 2 hints to a gem location to get the color down, find one of the maps on one of the walls, and dig my way into the rooms using the secret walls. It would always take me right to the gem I wanted. So even though many people claim this is the hardest and most confusing Knuckles level, I guess I can agree, but I disagree that it's confusing at all. You just need to get the colored room hint, use the map to dig your way there and get your gem. Doing this, I managed to get every A rank first try on every Knuckles and Rouge Desert level once I figured this out, of course. And the space levels were last, and again, I just used the forum to pinpoint my locations, use a video on the hard mode locations, get my gems, get my A ranks, and I finished this game up.
It's closer.
2 more left.
It's closer.
1 more left.
It's closer.
Alright.
I found him.
Ooh. No way.
Yeah, this is perfect.
No way, dude. Ooh. Emblem mania. You are the legend. Oh my word. Oh my word. Okay everyone, so you can probably hear me quite well now. That's because I actually figured out a pretty good way to make it so you guys could hear me while I'm playing this game, rather than the music being extremely loud. And that is actually recording my capture card on my computer through OBS Studio, which is what I used to stream on. It's really annoying. Actually, it's not annoying at all. But I'm never going to do that again. I'm only doing it for this clip because I want a live reaction. As you guys can see, we got every single A rank in the entire game. And that includes all the Chao stuff. Obviously, we got both the trophies, both at once, which is as well. And I wanted to talk about something because I feel like I probably already talked about this in the video. Sonic Adventure 2 is the very first game that I have ever played in my entire life. This is the very first game I've ever played. And I have probably over 300 hours on this game. On my PS3 alone, I have 150 hours. I used to play 9 years ago now. It'll be 9 years since I've played this game on the PS3. On my GameCube, on our memory cards, on the two that we have, I have a total of like 220 hours or something because I played this game a lot. And never have I ever been able to get every A rank in the entire game. Obviously, every emblem as well. There's a lot of things that I used to do. I mostly worked on Chao a lot, and I can talk all day about how many hours I've poured into Chao. On this account, I didn't because it's not required. And I wanted to work on this video rather than, that stuff. That I'll definitely do in my own time because I love this game. This is not only the first game I've ever played, but my all-time favorite game ever. And I've never been able to do this, so this will be my very, very first time ever playing this level. Live reaction, baby, let's do this. And yes, I'm tired, that's because it's fetching 4 in the morning. Oh my goodness. Dude. This is amazing, bro. Oh! Dude, okay, bro. Yeah, you guys, I talked about in the Sonic Adventure 1 video, which I for some reason said that's the best Sonic game in that one, when it's obviously not. This one is. I don't know why I said that in the video. But I also talked about how as a kid, one of my dreams was to, Dude, they have the original sound effects too, that's so dope. But in that one I talked about how it was like my dream as a kid to get Metal Sonic. The other one was to get Green Hill Zone this game, but obviously I was too young, so I was never able to do it. But now I've officially fulfilled the childhood dream. I was talking to my brother about it as well because we both wanted to do this together all the time, but we never managed. And I managed to do it by myself. He's working on it on his computer, actually. He has the game on Steam, and he's working on getting every A rank as well. But he's mostly working on Chao, and he already got 2 Chaos Chao. That was mostly about what he's been doing, so yeah, I did this on my own. Not alongside him, which I've always wanted to do, because we played this game a lot together, but dude, this is amazing, bro. I'm so proud to finally do this, man. Holy crap, this is amazing. I'm not sure how the footage is going to look for you guys. Probably not very good. If it doesn't look very good, I'll just do a re-recording, which means if you're watching this one, it looks good to where I don't need to do re-recording, but yeah, it's because OBS and the capture card never looks that amazing, but I just really wanted to do this, and there we go, man. Wow. I'm so happy to finally do this, bro. But, C rank. I don't know, is that A rank? Does getting an A rank on this even do anything, is the question. I don't know. Because obviously there's no, like, A ranks or anything here, but wow, dude, this is so surreal to me, man. I want to check one more thing because we do unlock stuff in the kart racing. I never actually checked this before, so now we have these 2 things for him. Oh, we get a Chao for Sonic, okay. That for Knuckles, that for him, that for Eggman. And we get E102 for Amy, or not Amy, Fetch and Rouge. Wow, you guys, I am so happy to finally do this. Now, obviously in the video there's going to be a lot of stuff I don't show because I actually did a lot of this game, on my own time. I literally only had 2 trophies left for this game, which was every A rank and that. And I guess also karate, so 3 left. So I already had a ton of stuff done in this game. So this did only take about 20 hours to do. Maybe 25 if we're really pushing it. I don't know. But yeah, man. I am so happy to have finally done this after years. Yeah. It's 4 in the morning, so I'm gonna go to bed. But let's cue the outro. And there it is, that's me finally 100%ing Sonic Adventure 2. This is by far my all-time favorite game ever made, and honestly, I might 100% this game again one day on my GameCube. I know a lot of people claim this game is insane to 100%, but I disagree. This game is honestly pretty simple to finish. You just need a good strategy, and it'll carry over to every other level for that character and its dark story counterpart. I'm so happy to have finally completed this game, and if you enjoyed it, I'm doing every PS3 Sonic game 100% completion, so go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe to see those videos in the future.